If you're talking about the wedding, everyone was made to feel unwelcome.
Not everybody, just the
Just
British
the British
media.
press,
yeah,
just
British
the people
press,
that
yeah.
travel the whole world, and
Yeah.
spend their whole life.
All my life,
covering.
and then Oprah Winfrey had met them once. She was a guest. The Clooneys, the guests. I mean, never met them before, but they were the guests. And I thought to myself, this is all showbiz rubbish.
Did you get a sense then that they wanted out, that they wanted a California life, that they wanted showbiz, that they weren't interested? If they weren't interested in making people feel welcome at the wedding, it just seems to me they made a decision back in 7 years ago. That they
I'm looking. I mean, Oprah Winfrey was there, and then the first big interview they did was with Oprah Winfrey, and most of that interview was left on the cutting room floor because it was so one-sided and it was so unfair. And I think about watching it now, and the bit about Archie and the colour of his skin. And I knew they'd be seething. I knew the Queen would be seething. I knew that the Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, would be seething. It would be so unfair because one thing they're not is racist. They are not. I've been with the King all over Africa, all over South America. I've never seen only just engaging and enjoying the company of these people. So, it would be no way that he would be like that. He's just and it was just an unfair thing to say. But it was, I mean, she delivered it like an actress delivered it, and Oprah responded going, wow, as though like.
And they've gone back on that as well.
Well, now they have, yeah. But, then he quickly said, it wasn't the Duke of Edinburgh or the Queen that said it. And then, and at a later date, the Queen put out a statement saying, our recollections vary. Well, I imagine, most people will realise that was just the Queen saying, look, we don't believe anything you say, So, in my view, Harry, if he comes here, fine, he's welcome here. Obviously, he's a prince of the realm, although he's decided to keep the title but not do any work. I don't think he's entitled to stay in the royal palace. I think he, book into a hotel at any time. But he's not putting. Look, to be a member of the royal family in this country is a huge job. You're on show. You're in this electronic goldfish bowl all the time. People watching you, watching everything you do, everything you say. And a lot of responsibility that carries. And he didn't want that anymore. He wanted to go. I don't know why he went, because he was so popular here. I remember working with him. He was fantastic. He was just amazing. He was, especially with children, he was absolutely brilliant. And I travelled the world with him, and I did really enjoy working with him. But, now I really don't care if I ever see him again, because the way he's behaved towards the King and our Queen and his brother and his sister-in-law is appalling, and I just feel that it's about time he realised that, and he can't come and stay in palaces. He was, though the King, I mean, the King still loves him, and he would love him to come back and work for the family, but not as long as he's not going to write stories about it. And I think while that situation's still ongoing, I think that there's nothing's going to change.
So to confirm, Arthur, you didn't do anything to celebrate Harry and Meghan's 7th wedding anniversary?
I'll tell you what, no, I don't even. I'm surprised it lasted that long. No, many people said it wouldn't. It has. I mean, they obviously, they're probably happy together. They've got 2 lovely children. And it's one of the saddest things of all, Matt, of course, is that the children don't get to see their grandfather. Either grandfather, and that's really so awful, because they're not getting to meet their cousins and to know their cousins, and it's such a shame for them.
Yeah, it is. Happier times this week: Buckingham Palace garden parties, Chelsea flower show as well. Can you give us just a flavour? You've done lots of them. We talked about 50 years, your golden anniversary, but you've done a lot of these. Can you just give a flavour of what it's like? And many people haven't attended a Buckingham Palace garden party.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the highlight in the calendar for many people. If you get a ticket and you get to go there, but what is it like at a garden party or Chelsea flower show when you're with the King, the Queen, Prince and Princess of Wales, etc.?
Well, I've been to several garden parties with my wife, and they are amazing. I mean, first and foremost, everybody's beautifully dressed. I mean, women spend millions of pounds on clothes. They look lovely. And then, of course, the royals come out, and then there's a big lineup. And people think that lineup is exclusive, but it isn't. If you're a member, if you've been invited, you can join that lineup, and you get to meet the king and queen, king or the queen. One does either side. But the food is lovely. There's so much of it. The tea is absolutely. I mean, tea is my favourite drink. It's absolutely.
Yeah, I can testify for that. Tea is your favourite drink.
And it's really, and you can walk around the gardens and the lake, and it's the most beautiful afternoon, and you see so many people, you know, or they know you, and it's a really, and the 2 hours, it goes in a flash, you know, it goes so quickly, but it's really lovely. And I've been to the Chelsea Flower Show every year for the last 30 years, it must be. And every year, where the Queen used to go, the Queen was the patron of the Royal Horticultural Society. And the big thing is the route she takes through the gardens. Everybody desperately wants the Queen to come through the garden. And we had a very, very famous gardener called Peter Seabrook. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but one year he asked me to go and do some pictures for him, and I said, are the royals coming past your stand? We had a wonderful stand there, it's called Sunflower Street. He said, oh, they never come here, never come to the Sun stand. I said, oh, why is that? He said, oh no, they just don't. So I was there, and I saw Prince Charles walking by about 2 rows back. So I went over to said, Prince Charles, would you come and look at our garden, please? And he said, okay. And he came over, and Peter, like, went straight into his Rahai eat mode, and he started telling the king about what they were doing. And it was a fascinating, it was called Sunflower Street, and there was a bridge across the top. And I think he won a gold medal for it that year, Peter. And next day we ran a big page of pictures of the king with Peter. The following year, we had the Queen Mother, Princess Margaret, the Emperor, the Crown Prince of Japan, and Chelsea Clinton all came to Peter's stand. And so it then became normal. And in fact, the last time the Queen, she came just before she died, the year before she died. And she came to Peter's stand, and Peter had got this special bouquet made of flowers he'd grown in his own garden for her. And I remember getting the Queen sort of smelling the flowers, and she came in a little carriage, you know, a little sort of cart. So legs were not too good to walk around. So it was, but this year I went, and the King and Queen were there, and of course they go separate routes. One of the nicest pictures I took on the route was when they passed each other or going their separate ways, and they were laughing at each other, meeting each other. So, you know, it's been a busy week. I mean, there's been garden parties, there's been the flower show, and now there's been a 6-week break.
Well, exactly. Well, listen, I think we've covered everything for the week. As I say, we do have 6 or 7 weeks, but we will still be covering every single royal job that happens, every kind of royal story.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, thanks, Arthur. Thanks for coming on. I've had a great time.
It's a pleasure, Matt. It's a pleasure working with you, Matt. As well.
We'll see each other in hopefully in Normandy for the D-Day celebration.
Please God, yeah.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. If you like the show, then please subscribe for more royal content.